OBS to YouTube, and we are live, but I forgot to bring up come on. So okay, starting off strong. That's how it works. Well, tonight we have a bit of a change up. It was supposed to be Yuval Greenspun's newsroom, but he had some personal stuff come up, and he had to back out last minute. Hopefully, he'll come back and join us in a future date. And one of our stable of regular, amazing game designers and playtesters has stepped up to the plate to bring us a game to tear down and in front of him for, and that is Trevor Olson, Sir Trevor Olson. Uh,
Oh, knighted.
okay, now everyone's going to be
I
able
don't
to.
think I'm knighted.
Well, I mean, I'm in control of what happens in this realm, so.
Yeah, that's sure.
Are you
I'll take it.
are you comfortable sharing your password on
Oh, yeah,
the
that's fine.
internet? Okay, how do I
It's-
find your browser, your server?
So it's ZUNGA and then games, all small case. And let's make sure I've got it up and running. Yeah, it is.
Failed to connect password.
What was the password exactly? Was it
Games.
just games?
Yeah,
Games,
Okay.
lowercase.
just games. Yeah,
I misinterpreted. I thought you meant Zunga
Oh.
Games.
that's the first game. See who can get into the server.
Mhm.
I win. All right.
And I've been told that there's a couple files on here that are really laggy, so sorry if it takes a bit to load.
Are there colors that we should choose or colors we should not choose, or just whatever you want?
If it's the four of us, it depends if anybody wants to play the one or the all.
Upside down.
If
No.
if you're gonna be one of the three cops, then you should choose yellow, blue, or green. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna have yellow, blue, or green in front of you.
Well, I chose. Does that mean I'm?
I don't know. You're
You
just
have
on
to
the
be difficult.
you're just on this side of the table of the convict side. And
Right.
it's fine if somebody wants to play the convicts. It's just a little bit hard if it's a first time playthrough. But if I'm not playing, I don't know. Am I?
Well,
am I
how many players do you take? 4?
You can do 4.
Well, then you are leading the session because Wes Woodbury has joined us.
Oh, cool.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Wes.
Okay, so
Hello.
let's introduce our playtesters tonight, starting with Mr. Chuck White Jr.
Hey everyone, I'm Chuck. I am from the East Coast of USA. I'm working on my own game, a deck builder called Robot Boxing League, and I really enjoy playing everyone else's games, seeing what they're coming up with, and just having really neat conversations with everyone.
Awesome, good to have you. I am Evan Halbert, also a game designer, working on 87 different games, and really enjoy giving feedback on other people's designs. Next.
Trevor. Or
You want me to go?
Sasha.
Well, he's the main guest. No, we have to skip you for now.
Okay, I'm
Guests
next. Okay.
last.
My name is Sasha, Sasha Jelten, and I'm a game designer that's working on a couple different games. We playtested my game last week, the Duck Caught game, or one of my games last week. And I love game design, and I actually teach game design to middle school kids primarily. But yeah, I love talking game design, playtesting people's games, and trying to make everyone's game the best game that there was. So happy to be here. Happy to check out Trevor's game.
To have you. Good to have you. Wes?
Wes Woodbury, fundamental games, game lover, and book reader, and fantasy aficionado. I've had the pleasure of testing a game and playing a game of my own on your channel, so happy to be back and trying something different.
Again.
And yeah, I don't know how to log in here, so I got to.
Oh, yeah. So the server is Zunga, Zunga, and the
One
password
Zunga.
is Games,
All lowercase.
all lowercase.
Just games.
Games
Just games here.
with an S at the.
I'm in.
That's how you pronounce that. Games. But you know, I sing for the Rolling Stones. Games. Okay,
You do sing though.
I do. Not for the Rolling Stones. Mine is mildly less lucrative. We make literally tens of dollars. Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, it's just as good. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, let's say that. Let's say that. That could be.
Isn't it?
Yeah, sure, why not? It's subjective, right? Why not? Okay, Mr. Trevor Olson, tell us about yourself, and then tell us about Alcatraz Escape City.
All right. I am a nurse by day and a game designer by night, and by day when I'm not working. Um, I do have a website, www.zungagames.com. If you want to kind of see me there, there's a Discord, a Facebook page, an email, a WhatsApp, a QR code to the Facebook group. Everything you need is right there.
So
You
good
can
at
contact-
technology.
Yeah, it's your general kind of roots out. And then yeah, the game. So Alcatraz Escape the City. So this, if people aren't aware of the 1962 escape, there was an escape in 1962 on kind of beginning of summer. The convicts escaped the prison. It's a very famous story. And then they were never seen from again, at least by me. I don't know if anyone of you have seen them, but I have not. And so if you see the board here, you'll see a start spot on Alcatraz Island. That is the last spot that they are suspected to have left as far as kind of evidence found. And this game postulates that they go into the city along these white lines and need to find these 4 items: clothes, a car, money, and a passport, in that order, to finally get all the items and stuff that they need to truly get out of the city and be gone for good. The guys involved with this were Frank, Clarence, and John. And what you're doing as the convict player, which is over here with this deck, you will be moving these guys around the city to try and collect these things. And as you go, the police will be trying to capture you. So the convict player actually controls 3 players, but really it's 3 lives. You're not actually controlling 3 players. So for example, if this is the convicts on start, they don't actually get a token, but let's just say this is theirs. They would move somewhere and all 3 of them would be wherever they move to. If they're ever captured, the thematic piece is that these cops are, I guess, not the best cops, maybe. And
Hey,
one gets
Speak first,
captured.
ask questions later.
And one gets captured and the other 2 run away. So it's like a video game. You get 3 lives. And what the cops are trying to do, obviously, is to capture all 3 before they can get all 4 of these items. There is also another game ending situation. As you visit spaces, you will put out these tokens as the convicts. And if you ever get to a point where you can't move and put out a token, you will lose the game. But right now it's very generous for that. There's 32 of these tokens, so that's probably not going to be a game end state. But it may, I haven't balanced that yet to bring those tokens down to a point where it matters, and I'm not even sure if I want to. But it is, if you take 32 moves, you've just taken too long. You need to go back. So how do you move? So if we take our first move, for example, to one of these white lines, what you're going to do is you're going to end up in one of these sectors. And you'll notice every sector, these black cordoned off areas, have 3 numbers in them. Every sector has 3 numbers. So if you're wondering what a sector is, look for the 3 numbers that are in that area. And then there's also areas that are grouped into districts. So all of this yellow, all of this orangey brown, whatever you want to call it, cantaloupe.
Maroon. I don't know.
You can call it whatever you want. So back to the movement. So let's say you move to here. How I would move to there is I would pick a card out of this deck. So if you notice I'm hovering above it, it says 64 cards. It says 64, even though there's only 63 spaces on the board, because there is one special card, which is, why can't I? Oh, you guys are searching it. That's okay.
Oh, so
There's this one disguise card. Every other card in the deck matches one of these numbers on the board one time. So there's 63 cards, there's 63 numbers on the deck, in the deck. This disguise is a little bit special. I'll explain that in a second. But let's say I wanted to start my moves and I wanted to go to number 13. I would simply draw 13 out of the deck and I would put it down. You wouldn't know what I've drawn. I'm telling you, obviously, I wouldn't do that.
Or
And
would you?
or
and
would you?
right now, I am right there. Not that you would know that.
Verse 13.
Right.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
you can see I would be going to this sector and then choosing a number, when in fact really all I'm doing is laying a card and whatever
And did you
number
put this little tabby down to let us know that you're in that sector?
just for learning purposes. You'll
Okay.
never get any indicator on in real life.
Yeah, so you have no little markers that go on this
No.
board? Got it.
Never.
And what's your
Never do
movement?
I mark.
What are your movement rules?
So let's say I am in 13.
Mm-hmm.
I can move anywhere orthogonally or diagonally. So up, down, left, right, or diagonal.
So you
I
could
can-
move here.
Yes.
Okay.
I can move there. I can never move back into the water though. Once I move into the water from the water, I'm not going back in because it was a raft and it's deflated.
Sexy
and
meeple,
it's done.
Trevor.
And
Gotta
you
say
can
that's one sexy FBI meeple.
and you can never
Yeah.
return. You can return to the same sector, but not the same number.
I can return to the same sector, but not the same number, unless I use this card and it's a one-time use, because I would put it out here and you would never know I'm using it until it reveals on here. But I'll get into the reveals here in a second.
I see. Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'll leave this here just to let you know where I am. But so I would lay this card. That would be my first move. As soon as I lay a card in the number 1 spot, you know I've taken my turn, and now it's the cop's turn. The cops move. First of all, they start on any one of these little spaces, and there's 3 of them. So you have to start all the cops on those spaces, but you can
Oh.
mix them however you want to mix
The,
them.
those
Oh, okay.
little tiny dots with the
Yeah.
3 colors. Got it.
You got it. And so you can mix them up however you want to mix them, depending on what powers you are using. I can suggest what powers you should use if you want, which would be a good first playthrough. I'd probably play that side. I'd probably play that side, and I'd probably play that side on the cops. So we'll run through those in a second. So what I do is I move, and then on your turn, you'll see here, this isn't completely updated. It's a little bit off, but it should be good enough. It's just the double move, so it's a little bit off. But essentially, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask a question. So there's all these anonymous tips flooding in through the city. I think they were getting something like 5,000 in a day or something crazy. And so you've got these anonymous tips that you can ask me. And I have to answer honestly if it's true or not. So you could ask me if I'm in a yellow sector. It could be either this, or sorry, district. It could be this, or it could be this. So it could be any one of those 8 sectors. If I'm in a blue district, or if I'm in the middle district here, the cantaloupe or brown or orange or whatever. You can also ask me if I'm actually at one of the specific spaces. So you'll see 17, for example, here has a t-shirt associated with it. So you can put this out. What you would do is take the token and put it out there. And I would say, in this case, if I answer, I would have to answer yes. But I do have 3 tokens throughout the game where I can prank call you, as in the call that came in is not reliable. So I can put that out there, and then that just means I'm not answering your question, which, you know, I can bluff, or I can be obvious that there's no way he's not there if he's putting that out there. So those, and then you can ask 2 other questions. One is, are you in the same sector right now as one of the police officers? That can be pretty powerful, because even if they're all in 3 different sectors, you know it's down to 9 spots. If you can nail that one. And then one last one is north or south of the line. This is the north side of the board. This is the south side of the board. There is a little compass rose up in the corner. And yeah, just essentially the purple dotted line, are you north or south of that? So you're going to start off doing that deduction questioning, and then you're going to all move. So you can't move and search and then move and search. You have to all move together, 1, 2, 3, wherever you want to go. And then you call out a number. So maybe this guy calls out 57, maybe this guy calls out 43, and maybe this guy calls out 17. It is obviously that they're not, if this was really my first move of the game, it is obvious they're not going to find any information, because they're not in a water edge sector. But let's say it's the second move of the game, and they do this, and I don't know, he checks here. What you would do is you would move all of them, and then you would say 54, 42, and 15. And I would say, nope, nope, nope. But if by some chance you did say 13, I would flip the card and I would show you, yes, I'm at 13. And because it's at the actual spot where I am, it's not later on in the game. Like, I'll explain that in a second. It's actually where I am at this current moment in time. That is a capture. We would cover up Frank or Clarence or whoever you want to cover up.
Frank! They
And
got
then
it!
and then I would go again. So there's nothing else that happens other than, oh, I'm captured, I'm down to 2 lives, and I go again. Now, let's say it actually was the second turn, and you had gone from here to here. So like all these guys had moved, and this is your second turn. And maybe I'm up here now, but somebody comes in here and calls out 13. I still have to flip it, but now it's evidence found. I'm not captured, because this is actually where I am at the 1 spot. Does that make sense? Okay.
To me, at least.
So yeah, it's just important to know that these cards, when they, so I'll go over that again. Like that would be my first move. And then there would be tokens here. For example, maybe you guys asked, hey, are you in yellow? And I said, well, it would be a yes. And then all of those tokens and cards move down 1 space, and then I move again. And then you ask a question about this specific card, and I again say yes or no to whatever your question was. Oh, are you on a t-shirt space or whatever? And then you move, and then you search. So it sounds like a lot of rules because it's asymmetric. One side's doing something, the other side's doing something slightly different. But essentially, you're asking a question, you're moving, you're searching, and then I'm asking, and then it's my turn, and I'm just moving again. So it's not actually that much. You'll pick it up really quick once we get into it. There are double moves. So you guys have a lights and sirens token each. And how that works is after you've moved, let's say green searched 54 and said, ooh, okay, well, I think I want to search 62 as well. They use their double move token as a one-time move and cannot use it again. They toss it to the side. It's a one-time move, and they move over wherever they want to move to and search another space. They can also use that double move essentially to just stay in their sector and search a different number. What's really important to grasp is that when a person searches a number at 54, for example, they duck in, search it, and then they're back in their sector. They never, ever, as the police, occupy a number, which means as the convicts, you could have just searched 54 and I could then go to 54. So don't think because you just searched something that I can't go there. I certainly can. And I often do. This token indicates whose turn it is to have the anonymous tips question. Everybody can collaborate, of course, because you guys are working as a team. But ultimately, it comes down to yellow if they have the tips token. And then the next turn, we would pass this on to blue and they would have it, and then to green for the next turn, and then back to yellow. So you get one anonymous tips token for the whole police team per turn for the police.
So is this cooperative then?
It is. Oh, I didn't do that. Sorry, Sasha. This is a one versus all hidden movement game.
Ah.
Oh, that's what you start with, Trevor. Sorry. Yeah, it is a one versus all. So if you've ever played Fury of Dracula, Scotland Yard.
Mhm.
Clue Museum Caper. That's one I played.
There you go. Yep, that works. So once you want to use a double move, you have to declare it. So once that happens, I'll just show you how that occurs. These cards down here, don't look at them too closely unless you're going to play the convict, because they're setup cards and then they go away. You're not really supposed to look at them. They're just there for setup. These cards, because you're going to be looking for a specific location, what you're going to do as the convicts is you're going to pull a chip from in here. You're going to flip it and you're going to set up as per what it says on the 22 spot, which
Ship it
would
and flip
be,
it.
what's that?
5716.
So yeah, you would just set up as per the card 57, 16, 50, and 8. Now you'll notice that on that card, it goes white, black, white, black. Or if it was another setup, it goes black, white, black, white. And you'll notice over on this side of the board, all the colors are white. And on this side of the board, all the colors are black. That means you're either going to start over here looking for your t-shirt and then have to jump to the other side of the board to get your car and then jump back and then jump back. Or you're going to start on this side and jump, jump, jump. So that's important to know, because as the convict, they're very unlikely to want to cover up a $ that's on their t-shirt side, and also vice versa, want to cover up a passport that's on their car side. So you got a bit of stuff to work with there too, although they may do it just to throw you off the track. So because, sorry, go ahead.
I was just, what do you mean by cover up a space?
Oh, so let's say, for example, on this one, the t-shirt would be 57, which would mean it's on the white side. Probably the last thing I'd want to do, well, not the last thing, but one of the things I wouldn't want to do is cover up a $. So when you visit a space, you're going to cover it eventually when it reveals on this track.
Oh, got it.
So as these cards progress down the track, whether you find evidence or capture, every fourth card will flip every time. So every time I take a move, this card that goes to the reveal spot will flip. So you're very, very informed in this game as the cops. This is thematically, you've left evidence behind and it was 3 moves ago, so they're finding stuff out. And when that card flips, a token goes on there that indicates a cop that is kind of stationed out at that area and watching out for you, because you visited there once. We think you might visit again. So it's impossible for you to go through there unless you happen to play your one disguise card which allows you to travel through black tokens. And to do that, I might as well explain that since we're here. You would just lay it on the tracker like any other card, looks like any other card. And then when it reveals, you would say, yeah, I went through 13 as my black token spot. So it's the one spot in the game where you have to be honest. The other ones are going to be drawn out of your deck here. So for example, our example of 22, we would have 57, 16, 50, and 8. So I would actually draw those cards out and put them face down here. You guys obviously wouldn't know what they are. And then these cards go into the deck as a proxy for those cards. So in other words, when you want to play 57, it won't be in your hand. It won't be in your deck. It'll be sitting here on the table. So you need another card to be able to play in its place. So when you see this card come out somewhere on the card tracker here, you know that I've gotten my t-shirt.
Got it.
Don't be confused with any other t-shirt that comes up. If it doesn't look like, if it's not the location card, that was not my location. It's a little brazen for somebody to go for their t-shirt if, or to play a t-shirt card if you're still going for your t-shirt on that side, but sometimes it works. What else any questions? Sorry, I've been going for a little bit.
How many times have you played this?
Ooh, in this iteration, probably about 20.
Wow.
It's had a lot of iterations. I've play tested it with one person alone about 9 times. So it's been really nice, consistent feedback from that person. Especially, you know, where you're like, should I change this? And they're like, no, you should not change that. Or like, yes, you definitely should change that. This is, I'm getting rid of the roadblocks because that's a specific power related to the backside of the blue guy, the FBI. So the FBI guys, I kind of explained how they move, but they move the same way as the convict, except they're moving into a sector and then searching a number, but they're never at that number. So again, same adjacency, diagonal, orthogonal rules apply, up, down, side, side, diagonal. What else can I tell you? Well, we might as well go over the cop rule or the cop people. So whoever's playing yellow will be able to move a teammate from anybody that's adjacent to them, and that includes being in the same sector. They can essentially push them or pull them one extra space. So let's say blue moved to here. You can kind of use this as a rush at the beginning of the game. Let's say blue used their move to here, and then yellow wants to use their power. They can push blue to another spot. Yellow still gets to move as well, but it gets them into an area where they could actually be dangerous if they, on the opening move of the game. Blue also has a similar power in that if this is what happened and this guy moved here, let's say, blue can call somebody to them no matter where they are on the board. It counts as that person's movement, but you can call them to them and spend a token to do that. So obviously, if you're spending these tokens, you only have as many as you have to spend. It's a limited resource.
But you could use it 3 times in a row.
You can only use one per turn.
So you could bring like both other people as an example for the FBI in the same turn.
You could use the yellow, the blue, and the green in the same turn, but you just couldn't use like 2 greens in the same turn.
Got it.
The green's power is he can search 2 spots within the same sector. So if you were pretty certain he was in this sector, they'd be pretty toast if you used the green power to do that. I think that's mostly everything. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Is there any questions on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Is anyone monitoring the chat? Just
I have it up
excellent.
on the side. Yeah.
All right, Sasha,
Uh,
you're on it.
Yeah. Edward King said, "Good evening."
Hey,
Live
TK.
from
TK.
COTS.
Galactic Cruiser.
Yes.
Yeah, I still need to take a cruise.
Do
I
it,
Um,
haven't
man.
been on a cruise yet either. One of these days.
It's a fun game.
Good.
so I guess I had some questions about these, and like so at the start of the game, you're taking out the 4 cards that match those, and you're placing them here. Are you placing them face up or face down?
Face down right underneath where those are. And then as
Okay.
soon as they actually reveal, when you flip them over, then you'd move them, like you'd move them into position saying, yeah, there's my location number, whatever it was.
So, oh, sorry. When would they reveal?
So they would like, let's just put one out, for example.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the right card.
Mhm.
But well, let's put a real t-shirt out so I don't confuse people too much. Let's say your t-shirt was the location of 13.
Mhm.
You would have this in your hand, and at some point it would reveal on the tracker. Let's say it got to the reveal spot and said, oh yeah, I got my t-shirt. You would then flip this, move it up here and say, yeah, my t-shirt has been gotten at 13.
So, would you have to get your T-shirt at 13, or could you get your T-shirt elsewhere?
You would have to get it at whatever card, whatever your
Got it.
setup card said. You can't choose your location.
So then I guess I was confused as to why you wouldn't want to cover up a money symbol on the same side as your side if it's not your money symbol that you need to get. You were
Because
talking about earlier.
you're going to need to, if your t-shirt is over here with 13,
Mhm.
you are going to have to jump across to get your car.
Mhm.
And then you're going to have to jump back across to get your money. So your money is going to be over here, and you'll notice there's only 3
Got it.
money.
So we all know that you're going to have to get money and T-shirt on the same side.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And
Yeah,
car
and they have
passport
to
are going
go
to be
in
on the
this,
same side. Got it.
and they have to go in this order.
Okay. So yeah, you can't get money before you got car and T-shirt.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then I will just put this deck back together. Has anybody played Hidden Movement other than Wes?
Yeah, I have.
A couple of times. I'm not super familiar with it, but I've played it a couple of times.
Well, if anybody wants to preferably play the convicts, I would be available to at least kind of watch what you're doing. So it's kind of a good time to do it.
I will try to be the convict and maybe mess it up
All right.
and then get busted.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
And if you have any specific questions, we can just jump into a chat room real quick, and then I can answer your question for
Okay.
you.
So we need someone as yellow.
Did we go over the helicopter?
We did not go over the helicopter. The helicopter comes out. You'll notice on the bottom of these cards, it's got a barber shop on the bottom of this card, and it's got a helicopter on the bottom of this card, and the green, when it comes out, it's got an arrow. So things happen when those locations are revealed on the card tracker. However, the barbershop, this is old. It's just not updated. So nothing happens when the t-shirt comes out. So just ignore that one. That's the only one that's wrong. But the helicopter gets given to the police as soon as the car location is revealed. And this green one, what it does is when it progresses to the reveal spot, whether it's revealed early or revealed at the reveal spot, it makes the number 3 spot the reveal spot now. So things get increasingly anxious for the convicts as they're trying to go for their passport.
Okay, so it's kind of like the star system in GTA, basically. The more stuff they do, the more the cops start increasing.
Okay, I don't know that one, but
That sounds legit.
I'm sure I didn't think of it.
And then as soon as you get the passport, the convict wins. Is that?
So win condition is the green would obviously be in the reveal spot. if the convicts can get this, so it is possible that it's revealed in the 2 spot, or possibly even the 1 spot if you only had 1 capture and this was a capture, your second capture. The convicts need to get it to the 3rd spot and take 1 more move. Meaning, sorry, the cops get 1 more move. As soon as it gets, it is in the reveal spot, which is, this is now the reveal spot.
Yeah.
The cops get 1 more move to capture. And if they can't do it, then the convicts have gotten out of town, or however many of them are left have gotten out of town. If you get out of town with all 3, you get mad props.
So can only 1 convict be lost in a single turn? So like, if you got to the final round and you still have 2 convicts left,
Yeah.
then you're good.
If you
Got it.
get the card here and you have 2 convicts left, there's nothing they can do.
Got it.
All right. So to set up, what you're gonna do, Evan, is you're gonna pull a token.
And this is random, and they don't see it.
Yeah, it's you can alt shift over it to see what it is. You can just put it on the table and then alt shift it to see what it is. And then
Okay.
try not to look directly at the number. You like, if you're number 1, try not to be like,
How about
okay,
I just put
one,
it in my hand?
that one. Yeah, you could do that. I don't have hands activated because I didn't want anybody to draw the deck.
Well, how about you? How
Can
do
you
I
turn
do
all
that?
those cards upside down and then he can alt?
I can
Shift to
draw
look at
them
them?
for you. I can draw the cards. I can help you set up.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Okay. Okay. Where is it now? That's weird.
Well,
I've lost the search function.
Oh no.
oh, it's
Yeah.
because the top card's not quite.
Oh, okay.
If you make them all the same, it should be good.
There we go. That's why. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for that. Okay.
Reveal my hand.
So when you drop these on the table too, they will automatically drop face down, just so you know. You don't have to be paranoid
Nice.
with that. Did I do that wrong? What did I do? Oh, that's not right. That's completely wrong. Sorry.
About right? Oh.
And it's always a good idea when you're laying cards on the tracker too, to make sure you've just consistently check it to make sure you've done a legal move, because it kind of sucks when you don't. There's a big penalty for that.
You get shot on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Wet noodles and all kinds of stuff. You don't want any action.
Do I have these 2 cable cars that I can double move whenever I want? Is that true?
That's right.
ZUNGA.
Okay, so that is going to be your t-shirt location. And then
Cool.
that is going to be your car location.
Where? Oh, right there. Cool.
And this is way easier in real life. It's so hard zooming in and out on TTS, but we all know the fun of that. Okay, I'll just make sure I got it right. And then what's the last one? That one. Interesting. And then the last thing I'm going to check is just make sure they go black, white, or white, black. And I think we are good. Yeah. And then we just toss these because those were just for setup, so no one can possibly see what happens as we start to go through. I will get rid of my search so you can have control of the deck back. Actually, I'll do one thing here. Whatever you do, don't shuffle the deck.
Don't shuffle the deck.
It doesn't kill the game, but it certainly
Just
makes
hard to
it a lot
find
harder
things.
for you. Yeah, you don't want to shuffle the deck. It's not an issue in real life, but
And so when I pull this card out of the deck, is it automatically face down?
yeah, yeah. And then, like, as you pull a card and put it in, if you just press it once, it will go into its proper spot. But when you first lay it on the table, it might not go into its proper spot. So your first move has to be to one of these 5 sectors.
Yes.
So it will be one of those numbers.
Yes.
And I'll just make sure. Yeah, your setup is good and you have moved. So it is Police
Run!
Central. So the first thing you guys are going to do is ask a question as to deduce where he might be
On
on the shore.
So yellow start. We move after we ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
You guys have an idea how you want to start this?
You wouldn't want to move beforehand either because you want as much information as you can before you move.
I feel like narrowing down districts for the first one would probably be the best, but
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
So yeah, there's 2 blue, 2 yellow. I feel like he wouldn't go into brown normally, but it's possible.
And I don't
I
think he could be in blue because, well, I guess, yeah, 2 blue, 2 yellow.
I don't know.
Just
I feel like blue would probably be our best bet because then we can knock out both sides and we can just move into these 3
Well, we
areas in
know
the
that
center.
it's not in blue, this blue right now, because he can only be at these 5 spaces.
Yeah.
Should have taken a cable car.
So I feel like if we ask in yellow and it's not in yellow,
Then it's either the brown or the blue.
yeah, and I think brown is sort of yeah, the brown is like there's no opportunity to get anything in the brown, so it slows his game down a little bit, I think. I don't know.
We're good with yellow then?
Yeah, I vote yellow.
Yeah.
Are you in the yellow district?
And to nail in your answer, it's kind of like
Bam.
chess. You put the token in and then, oh, and one thing right away.
Well, see more butts there.
And one thing I did not mention, which I should mention, is that when the tokens are out here sliding down the track, they are obviously not available to you.
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Trying to throw us off the trail already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is not a great start.
So you guys now have to move, and don't forget you've got some special powers that can push you and pull you with blue and yellow.
Yeah, like yellow, you have the ability to get
Closer.
me or I guess either one of us into one of the starting locations. Green could get into this starting location, and then with yellow's ability, we could get into one of these locations. If we like wanted to be very aggressive, I don't know.
It could be aggro. I could use a dot.
Okay.
How about I push FBI up to here?
Well, you would probably want to.
So we move first and then we push,
Yeah.
or does
It doesn't really matter in this situation. You could still get where you wanted to go, but you could do them in either. It's your choice.
All right.
And then if you like push me over here or something, then I could check. Oh, you already used your token, so yeah, we'll say I'm here.
Right.
And then as far as what we choose, I think there's not a lot of information to go off of, so we each just choose a space. Is that right?
Yeah, so
three
you
of us?
now are in a sector which has 3 choices, and you make one of those 3 choices.
And is this like a turn order thing, or
You
do
say
we
them
like?
all. You say them all out at once.
Okay. So on the count of 3, let's say our number.
well, I mean, you say them all, and then he responds.
Got it.
17, 17.
And I will say 42.
And I'll go with 62.
17, 42, 60.
Bingo.
And if I'm in one of those, I have to say that I'm in one of those.
You have to flip your
If
card.
this was one of those numbers, then you have to flip it. Yeah.
What if it? So I need to flip it. What you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your proxy card for that card.
The thing is, you made a pretty bad escape on step 1.
Apparently. Frank! No.
Uh-oh.
All right.
And this one flips, and it just goes up here to show you that 42 was indeed his
It was
number.
a Frank
Let's
call,
go
not a prank
FBI.
call.
Frank is toast. I'm off to a bad start. Jeez.
So does he continue on from 42, or is he back on the island with somebody? No, he's at 42 right now.
Yeah, he's still on 42. Frank got captured, and the other 2 ran away within the
Frank
sector.
took one for the team.
Frank took one. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now from where he is, he can move anywhere on the map or only direct adjacent areas?
Actually, I'm gonna move.
Yeah, adjacent or within the sector.
I'm gonna use
Okay.
I'm gonna use my cable car here.
Okay. So when you use your cable car, you just put it above the card that you're using, just to show that you're using.
Oh, sweet.
You used a double.
I
move
like
there.
that. Okay, so
And
now I'm gonna grab another one.
While he's doing that, does the anonymous tips move to the next person?
Yeah, that would have moved like right after your guys' last
Okay.
turn, essentially, or at the beginning of the next turn, whatever works. I don't remember what my order of operations was on that one.
So unfortunately, Evan, I think I might have to leave the YouTube chat to you, because the chat can see what your information is.
Well, just don't cheat.
Sasha, what you can do, and this is what I did, you can actually click on the chat and you can click pop out and then close the YouTube window.
But also Edward offered to tell me information if I PayPal him.
Of course, he would. He would. Okay, I am ready. I cable card out of there. Get me out of here. These cops are.
So now we know how
they're smelling bacon.
All right. So you have gone, and I'll just double check and make sure you're all good.
Yeah, make sure.
And yeah, looks good to me.
I wasted a prank call.
So he does have his shirt though, so now he's looking for car.
Yeah. And you know his shirt was here. So
so the car has to be on this side of the map.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Got it.
But he might just be taking a roundabout route to avoid capture.
So that if he tried to get over to this side, then he's in one of these 3 spots, right?
Yeah, it's a high possibility he's somewhere in this center section or in this yellow section.
He couldn't reach.
Yeah, he couldn't reach here from here with 2 moves. So one of these 3 spots, if he was booking it for getting to the car, which he could dilly-dally, but there's a car here and a car here. There's 2 cars that I'm seeing. I don't want to quarterback too much, so definitely speak up if you have other thoughts. But my thoughts are, I see 2 cars that are approachable from the position that he was at. with 2 moves. That's my thought process.
And,
Any-
and if
any-
you're worried that green is out of position now, that's a good time to use your blue.
Yeah, I could
Just to-
draw green to
just-
me
Just to remind you guys of what your powers are.
for sure. So
And you
we need to
can
do
move-
a tip now.
You can
Right.
move before you use your power too, Sasha. So you could move over and then bring the
And then
person
draw.
to get them a space closer.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that makes sense. So we're doing an anonymous tip now, right?
Yeah.
I
Um,
wonder, do you want to try for the same?
I that would definitely narrow it down between these 2 spots if we're like putting them on going straight for the car. I think that sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Either because we already did the yellow.
A lot of car spaces. So.
Like the only other thing I could think is ask about the brown, because then essentially that means these spaces, or he's just
Yeah, because
Not
if you do a
pursuing
brown
anything.
and he's not in there, then we
He's
know
one
for
of
a
these
fact
spaces
he's over
is-
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess a second thought. Can I move here and then pull green,
Yeah.
and then yellow push green?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Like you like do combo. Got it.
Totally.
Rumble cops.
Combo cops, renamed combo cops.
So,
Combo
yeah,
cop dog.
what do you guys
That's your
think?
new name.
Should we ask about orange or ask same location?
Go for the. I don't know. Same location sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's ask about same location then.
What's the
What's
question?
your question, man? You got to shout it out.
Same. Are you in the same location?
As
One of
a
the
cop.
police.
am I in the same location
Same district.
as a
Same
cop?
little
Little sector. Yeah.
black outlined
Nay.
area. Nope. You said
Mhm.
nay? Okay.
Nay.
Nope.
Well,
I
in
think I
that
would move
case,
up to this car spot.
that sounds good. I might move here and then suck green to me. Are you cool with that, green?
Sure.
Okay, I'll use my ability so you can come right over.
Chuck Norris and Hooch.
And then where do you guys want me to move to? Do you
Well,
want me
I think that counts as your move, or
Yeah, it
does it
does.
not?
Red
In
Yeah.
that-
Rover,
the
Red
Blues-
Rover.
That's why you have to ask if it's cool.
Oh,
with,
counts as that
mm,
teammate's move. Okay.
But yellow could still push you a space if there was a reason that we wanted you to move one more space.
Well, we know he's not in this district because I was
Yeah.
there when I asked the question, so I don't think it makes sense to waste a move right now.
Yeah, like there's no other like threat of him getting a car this turn other than 15.
So I'd say
So I'm fine with shooting for 15 and seeing if that works, and then we can just call out 2 numbers in this brown space for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Cool.
15.
I'll say 28.
And I'll go with 30.
And this is for the 1 card, not the 2 card, right?
You
Any card
would, if any one of these cards is a number that they called out, you would flip it. If you flip this one, it would just be evidence you're not captured. But if you flip this one, you're captured again.
And what were the numbers you called out?
15.
28 and 30, I think.
You find no trace of Clarence or John.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. What are your all's thoughts on this new information?
Now I
I'm
move
wondering
again,
if
right?
he's trying to get us off the trail and he's trying to go south.
Could be hiding right here, just biding his time.
Well, he did have 2 movement, so I guess he could do that. It seems a little bit funny, but like totally like 2 movement and only actually being 1 space away definitely would throw us off.
That sounds like something Evan might do.
I'm kind of leaning towards this anonymous tip asking if he's north of the purple line because there's 4
Well,
cars north of it.
let's wait until he chooses his card.
Sorry.
Come on, you don't want to give me info?
Evan's just sitting back, like, yeah. Give it to me.
This guy has
What do you
a,
want me to do?
police radio. He can hear everything we're talking about.
So yeah, your thought was about the northern line.
Yeah, because there's 4 cars north of it, and if he answers no, then there's only 2 options. If he answers
Mhm.
yes, we limit it to these 4, and we're close enough that we could probably hit at least 3 of the 4.
Yeah. Do we have a way? Oh yeah, I guess we do have a way to get down to these spaces. At least one of them with the power of yellow.
Or
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that plan. That seems reasonable.
Okay. We'll go with, are you north of the purple line?
great call.
Oh, that means yes.
Not necessarily.
No, totally. It's a good one to prank call.
Wasted my first prank call. That was
That
that was a fatal error for Frank.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Frank.
think it might be good for me to stay here and check 15 again. It could be tricky that way.
It
Go with
depends because what we could do too is if blue moves here and yellow moves here, yellow could move blue over here, and then I could move into this one, and we could check all 3 of these bottom ones.
Could he have gotten this further?
If he was in this section, yeah, he could have moved into this.
He was there. He
Because we know for a fact he wasn't in this sector.
Yeah.
And he originally was over here and he would move twice. So if he moved here and then here, he could have easily moved over here the next turn.
Mhm. Yeah, and it is important to note that he can move just like inside a sector. He doesn't have to move outside a sector. Is that correct?
Yeah, he can stay in a sector as
So
long
yeah,
as he's got a card left to do it.
he could have been in the sector last turn and yeah, moved back to 15.
That's true.
That is something to think about.
And I forgot to.
Actually, no, that still works then because this is still technically adjacent. So even if blue moves here, if we did want to check that blue sector, your yellow should be able to knock him over here, correct?
Well, I think I go here and then he'd knock me there. Or he
Well,
could
no,
go
BCOP
here
says
and
if it's in
I
the
go here.
same or adjacent.
Yeah.
So if he was here, that's still adjacent. So you could knock him into this, couldn't you?
It's adjacent to where I am. At least that's how I'm reading it.
Adjacent. So which one are you wondering about? What the yellow can do? What the blue can do?
I think the question was if I was here, could yellow knock me into here?
Or is it only the adjacent of the blue?
Yeah,
Adjacent.
whatever is adjacent to blue.
Okay.
Yellow has to be adjacent to blue, and then whatever is adjacent to blue,
But we could get similar by yellow going here, blue going here, and then yellow bumps me over here.
Yeah,
It just
we
would
could
mean
do it.
yellow would be here instead of up here.
But we can't move into this from right here, can we? Because
Yeah,
that's not.
Yeah.
it's diagonal.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was directly adjacent or not. Okay. All right. So do you want to stay up there, yellow, and then, or how do you guys want to do this? Sorry, I keep getting us off track.
It's all good. So, I think sort of nailing down spaces that are further east is better. Because if he went further west, we're going to have more time to catch him before he gets back over to
That's
the
true.
east side. So I think like doing a very thorough search of the eastern side of the west side of the city.
Here and here.
I don't know if we can get there. I guess if yellow goes here, then yeah, we can get someone down there.
Do we think you could have gotten that far down?
I mean, he started here, moved to, could have been here.
Oh yeah, because technically he could have
Or-
got here.
Yeah. So he could definitely be down here. So yeah, sure. I think that sounds reasonable. So that would mean yellow would have to use another power. I don't know if we're burning through your power too quick.
That's cool. So I would use the power on blue and push blue here.
And then I would move. Yeah.
Move there. Yep, that works for me.
All right, let's do that.
What good are my powers if I don't use them?
Yeah.
Use
then-
the power.
Green, if you wanted to go in the other car spot.
And if you
And-
want, do you want me to use my power and search
Yeah,
both the car and something else?
I think might as well, just since we haven't used your power at all yet, just to.
Totally blow them off course.
How did you move the blue up there? Because yellow was in here and blue. from here to
'cause
here?
blue was right here. We were adjacent, and then
Yeah.
blue got bumped over to here,
you-
and then
you
I
bumped it
went right here.
first and then moved.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
You're
I
learning
knew you
rules.
could get there. I was just wondering what you.
The strategy. Mhm.
Yeah.
We do also always have our double movements, which we haven't used yet. Right? We can
Keywords.
move twice once.
Yeah. Ready for numbers?
Yeah. If you guys are good.
Yeah.
15.
16, 18.
And 24.
No.
Hmm.
None of them on any of them? Got it. Okay.
Now we get to, at least he has to reveal something now.
Yeah, you get to
Where
flip
was
that
he?
card.
The trolley.
This goes away. Do you want me
Do
to
we-
flip it, Evan, or do you want to
Yeah,
flip it?
yeah, I'll flip it.
Okay.
Boop. I was at one point at 44.
Okay. So
Hmm.
he went from here to here.
Yeah.
Meaning that the next movement, if he was going
He
west,
could still be here on blue. He just
yeah.
get the number called out.
Interesting.
Yeah, he could still very easily be in any of these locations over here.
hmm
But we
I
could
think
ask the
we
question-
need to be more careful about our powers right now.
Okay.
we could ask the question about the car space.
Yeah, we still have the double move. So like if we really need to get somewhere, we don't have to use yellow. Yellow's
Mhm.
ability does seem pretty good though.
Hmm.
What do you think? Car space or blue district? What do you think would be more beneficial?
Um,
I'm kind of leaning towards blue district. Oh, you okay, man?
yeah, there was a bug that was coming at me. I got it.
You're an undercover cop. You're just
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards blue, just because if he's not in blue, that narrows us
Yeah,
down into
he's
these
not blue, then he's
sections.
almost guaranteed to be in here.
Yeah. I like that.
Why
I
do
mean, he
go-
doesn't have another prank call.
I do have one more prank call.
Let's-
Anybody know how to take this ruler icon off? Somehow my hand turned into a
hit F1 or the yeah.
There we go. I don't mind being a ruler, but it's all. Blue. Are you in the blue district?
Edward Ruler Hands.
I am not in the blue district.
You got another freebie.
Okay. Hmm.
Does that mean he just want to kick it?
Hmm.
Because we're on all the car spaces that he could get
Yeah. I think I'm comfortable.
in the non-blue spaces.
I want to say he's not on a car space only because we're on all of the car spaces.
At the same time, though, like you might think that we leave the spaces that we were on rather than none of us move. But I agree with your thought process, but I think that he cannot progress if we just check all the car spaces again, right?
His deck is basically his timer, right?
I think so, but really, it's like as he plays out more pieces, he has less spaces he can go to.
Yeah, and have more and more reveal.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the longer we drown it out, the harder it's going to be for him. So yeah, we could just stay where we are and keep trying.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me as far as like making it so that he has to either move into blue or wait us out. And then that's our own sort of mind game that we can play for next round's anonymous tip.
Or I'm down for it.
Co-op
Yeah.
cops, unite!
Lazy cops, just sit in the same spots.
We're all
Stake
camping
out.
out at a donut shop.
So I guess we just name our stuff.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
I got
So-
16.
I got 24.
I'll do 15 again.
16, 24, 15. Unfortunately, I am not a smart robber.
Got him.
What happens?
I am not smart.
Was
I
it
thought
Clarence
was a
or
really
John?
Good move, Evan.
Well, I think
thought it was
Clarence
a really good move.
Clarence is in it for the long haul.
Got it.
Brutal.
Yeah. Clarence is in it for the long haul.
And we
Okay.
get the helicopter now too, don't we?
You get the helicopter now. So what the helicopter does is you can dispatch the helicopter. You play after you move, so it's not as strong as it sounds, but you can point to any one sector and ask if the convicts are currently there, meaning this card matches a sector that they're in.
Oh.
So you can take that, it's a one-time use, and you guys can decide when you want to use it as a team. But again, it's after you move.
And do we add one of these black markers to the 24 now that we revealed it?
You got
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right, so we know he's got to go to the east side,
Unspeed.
and he's gonna look for
Yeah,
cash.
he has to move before we decide what we're doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does that mean he reveals another card as well?
Yep. But it won't matter because it's you know 3 cards in front of him. So he's
It
actually
matters. We need to know the inner workings of the other man.
Yeah. How does he think?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a diagonal type of guy.
I mean, you've already figured me out pretty well, so, so I wouldn't be too worried.
double time.
Get out of there.
Oh, he's gonna rush it.
Does that mean he has this car now, or
So
Oops, that one's supposed to be here. I need to put a different one there.
Oh, got it.
No, this. Oh, okay. That's your second. That's your
Yeah,
second.
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay.
And then this gets revealed as well.
That does get revealed.
And so the trolleys, you just got 2 trolleys at the start, or is it trolleys? When do the trolleys or the cable
he
cars come
started
into
with
play?
2 at the start of the game and he gets to choose when to use them?
Got him.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
he's got 1 resource left.
What?
Which is the
I'm doing fine.
tank.
When
I'm doing fine.
If-
Clarence
if-
doesn't worry. There
Yeah,
it is.
if you wanted to shed your dead weight, you're doing great.
I feel like
It's
I'm
like
bad.
that zombie apocalypse.
I
Just
feel like
trip
I'm
the
bad
fat
at
ones.
this. Yeah, yeah, right. Just have to not be the slowest.
Yep. You just gotta have one. Just
Does
one.
he have to be going for money now? Is that his next goal then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
and
you'll
it
notice
has to be over here.
with the t-shirt there was only 5. With the car there was only, I think it was 5. What did I do?
6,
1, 2,
I think.
6.
6. So he's got 6 cars, or sorry, money spots that he can visit as well.
And this one's the
Yep.
closest one that he
Except
can
he
get to.
except he covered one.
Yeah, I can't go back there.
Well, you could, but
Oh,
they know
I-
it's, if you did, it
Okay.
would be the disguise card. It's definitely not this card, so they know it's not your location.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
could visit it.
So double movement. I mean, I think it makes sense for us to go east. Does anyone have any specific locations that they want to lock down?
I'm partial to either asking if he's in brown or yellow.
Got it.
Because if
Yeah.
we say yellow and he's not in yellow, then he's more than likely in this middle section.
Yeah, unless he just like is not moving from the west side, which
Sure.
is not really progressing.
I feel like that would be more hurting himself because then he's going to start losing more spots he can move to.
Yeah, but if he was staying in this yellow section and we as he was in orange and he wasn't, then yeah. But I think that's
True.
still a reasonable ask. You want to ask about orange? Yeah. Unless someone's opposed to that, that's what I'm going to ask.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Am I? Oh no, I have to make.
Oh, are you in Cantaloupe?
Am I in Cantaloupe?
And it only applies to this one.
I am not in Cantaloupe.
Okay.
He's not in Cantaloupe, and there's nothing he can do on this whole side of the board right now to help us
Yeah.
other
So
than hang out.
Yeah, he can't pick anything up over there until he gets his car. And I mean, he could have got his car.
money.
He could have got his car from there. He could have went 1, 2. Could have went 1, 2.
Wait, car?
Isn't he on cash now?
He already got car.
Oh, sorry, my bad. He could have
So
went
money
1,
and
2.
money are the two.
But his only hope for advancing.
Could he collect this money with the skies?
Could he? No, he can't. You mean, could it be his location?
Yeah, I guess so.
It would
he
have
needs to
to
collect
match.
money.
It
Got
would have
it.
to match that card, so that
Oh,
card's not in his hand. So
got
the
it,
disguise
got it.
won't work.
Yeah, got it.
And he was down here. So with a double move, the farthest he could have got to the east would be here. But he could get over here if he really wanted to rush it.
Mm-hmm. Should we just try and lock down money spots? Or, I don't know, what are your thoughts? Because, I mean, I could like double move to here. And then if I wanted to, I could call someone over to me and then we'd be like over here and active pretty quickly. And then one of you two could work towards coming over to here or something.
I think he has to be from here down. So
Yeah.
Numbers.
Yeah,
So-
he can't make it up here.
Yeah,
I could
but
go down here with the double move.
yeah, I don't think we all need to use our double moves. Like one person could just move to like right here and then next turn try and meet with him here if he was coming to this money.
I would never.
I mean, the other thing we could try and do too is also we have the helicopter. So like if we really want to be aggressive, we could always just move. And then is this before or after searches?
After.
So we could
Oh, I
search
see.
and then use the helicopter
Mhm.
and see if we can confirm which sector he's in.
That
It's
that
it's after moving, but before searching.
got it.
So that could work then, because if we get a person here, and even if one of us isn't all the way up here, we could use a helicopter and see if we can confirm if he's in one of those two areas.
and that would narrow it down because we know it's not brown. So if not in any of these areas, then
Then he's probably still over here on the east
yeah,
side.
yeah. I mean, I don't hate that as a concept.
It does need a bit of rewording on the helicopter because it only means the first move. If you still had a double move, you could play the helicopter and then use your double move to get in there. So
Interesting.
yeah, so it's a bit of a misnomer. I changed the double
Okay.
move recently, so it's off a bit.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then like we could have blue move here, use the
Mhm.
helicopter, see if he's here. If he's not, blue could just move into this.
Hmm. Or vice versa as well.
Yeah,
Because like if I checked here and it wasn't there, then I just move here and then look at money just so that he can't like sneak
correct.
a money real quick. Um, hmm. I mean, I don't hate that. I'm down to use my double move and go here. Or no, right? It's move once and then check and then move, right?
Yeah.
So, let's try and use the helicopter, right?
Wes, where are you moving
I
first
guess
off?
yeah. Let's all do our.
Because I
moves.
was gonna say, if you want, I can move over here and I can use one of my abilities and just search both of these locations.
Yeah, that makes sense. Use your puppy. Puppy
Mhm.
power. Paw Patrol.
All right, so I'll move here first, and then
Paw
after we do the
Patrol.
helicopter, I'll use my.
Okay. I'll helicopter right here, I guess.
Helicoptering right there. Question.
46, 47, 48.
Yeah.
Only if
Is-
you're currently at that one of those three.
So this one.
I am not currently.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so I'll use my double move, and I'll move into this one, and I'll use a ability to double search.
And I'll use my double move to move here. And now we each choose our number.
My number doesn't matter because he's not in Cantaloupe.
Unless I lied.
But he could have been in Cantaloupe.
No, I remember they asked if I was in Cantaloupe.
No,
Alright,
but
so I'll-
here,
But that only applied to this card, right? So if it happened to be this, I'll say 30 anyway.
Oh, was that last time? That was
yeah. The last move, it'd be good to. That he was here before, so he couldn't have gotten over there with that. But yeah.
yeah,
I'll say 50.
and I have 43 and 45.
So where am I currently? Between 50, 43, and 45. Well, unfortunately for you, I am not in any of those locations.
Hmm.
So let's see, how do we zing this down?
Let's see where you were.
Nope,
So-
one more turn.
No discussing amongst us until he chooses.
Oh, come on. I want to hear your plans. Let me know what your plans are.
Turn off the police radio. He's listening again.
Tell us where you are, and we'll give you a sandwich.
Come on, guy. Don't you want a sandwich? You look hungry. Come on, guy. You look hungry.
Right. What are we gonna do
Come on,
now?
Clarence. We're the angel helping you out. Hmm. Do we want to ask about yellow and try and just knock out these two sectors? Because that will either do one of two, well, one of three things. Either he is in yellow, so we know he's either over here or over here. If he's not in yellow, he's more than likely somewhere in this middle section, or we force him to get rid of that last prank call.
Mhm.
Unless you guys have a better idea.
Yeah, I just want to like try and I guess think about maximum space away that he could be. So we confirm that he's not in this sector.
Mhm.
He's not in this sector unless he was
Disguised himself.
disguised, and he could be in this sector but not at the money symbol. And then he moved again. So if he was in this sector, he could move to here.
He is limited to one movement now since he used both of his
Yeah.
cable cars.
Cable car.
Yeah, I
Run,
don't
Clarence.
I don't hate the yellow plan. Unless
Wes, any
someone has
thoughts?
another idea.
I'm good with yellow or dollar signs. I think both are valuable.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Which one do you guys feel more strongly about, dollar signs or yellow?
I guess I'm leaning slightly towards yellow right now, but yeah, dollar signs isn't bad to have in our back pocket.
Do some yellow. Are you chicken?
Yellow belly.
Are
Yellow
you in a
belly.
yellow area?
I am not.
So I think these are the only two blue areas that he could be in. So as far as east goes, we're sort of narrowing it down. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's moving slower, because last time he sort of moved fast, we got him.
You guys
Yeah,
are-
I mean, for all we know, he could be up here.
Yeah.
Well, if two people got here, you could check this whole location using dogs. But then that's your last canine unit.
Yeah.
Maybe rushing into it's not the right idea right now.
Yeah, I think. So not in yellow. Yeah. My gut says he's not past this yellow part, but I think since he can't move twice, it might make more sense to do stuff in the sort of orange area, and then on our next turn we hit this yellow area, because he'll have to come back through the yellow area if he got money in the blue area, right?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is like, if he did manage to get to the blue, we can cover all three of these green dollar signs.
Yeah.
Because you can double move into this one. I can
Well,
move here, and blue
he
can move
he
here.
can't be here right now. He could only be here as far as the blue areas, based on the number of moves that he's had.
Okay.
Unless you move through 44.
Yeah, I guess the disguise would potentially allow him to get there. I missed that part.
Do you want me to move into blue and you and him go into orange?
I don't know. I feel like if we just hold down yellow, like if he is in this blue area, he still needs to get his last passport. And so if we just keep locking down yellow when we know that he's, like right now we know he's not in yellow, but if we like keep locking down yellow in future turns, then he'll have a really hard time either getting back from the blue or getting the money on the east side. At least that's my thought.
The yellow numbers right now, it's going to be worthless. So you're kind of better off shouting out a blue or.
Well, that's why I'm thinking is possibly moving to Cantaloupe this turn is a more like is a better bet, just because we can lock him down if he's in blue next turn by going into yellow, and we could potentially hit his final character in Cantaloupe. I don't know.
Cantaloupe.
Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel like if we just keep yellow locked down, then we should be good, and we don't need to check yellow this turn because we know he's not in yellow.
All right, so
With that thought process, I think I'm moving over to here.
where are you moving to?
I'm moving to Cantaloupe right here.
I'm going to stay where I
Okay.
am because he could be. That'll be 1, 2. He could be here as well. So I think I'll stay.
All right, so I guess I'll move here then.
All right. Yeah, the central spaces. I think that makes sense for him to want to go to central spaces because it gives him more options. But again, that might be overthinking it.
We're
Okay.
together again in one firm row. Call out the numbers.
So 36 is covered, correct?
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm gonna go with 31.
29.
35.
Me too much credit. I am not in any of those locations.
Okay.
Get to see where you were.
So let's see. Move all these down.
You just make sure you click off it before you flip the last one. Otherwise,
Right.
they'll all
Don't do it. So at one point, I was in
Right down here.
37.
So that was 24 to 37.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it'll go beside it, so you.
oh, it
can
goes
look
right
at
next.
the
Oh,
number.
so you can still
Yeah.
see the number.
So from 37, he could have went here to here.
Be in the blue. Trying
Well,
to
we knew that he wasn't in here. That's when I did a helicopter call here.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
he
fair.
would have had to have gone to here because I searched right here. So if he did go east, he was either in 49 or 51 for
3.
this card.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, he chose this card. We can talk.
Yeah.
Reveal
that's-
all your plans. I
Yeah.
listen on the CB radio.
Do we want to check the blue district again? Because I don't think he's in the same spot as us. That would be.
Yeah.
Either blue district or above the north line. Because if he's above the north line, then
Then we
more
know,
likely he's here.
Yeah, and that rules out. So wait, 3 would have put him in here, and then he would have had to not be in yellow, which puts him in. I guess that doesn't rule out the
He could be
path.
back yellow again. We don't know that.
Yeah. Huh. I don't hate the blue option, and then we just look in yellow. Unless y'all have a better plan.
I'm good with the color again.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Cool.
Are you in a blue district?
You have no idea where I am.
Yeah, that's a yes.
Exactly where you were.
You don't know where Clarence does.
Do we want to check our money spots? Or no?
We already checked, so we can't check again.
Well, no, I mean, like move there on this turn and then ask about
Yeah,
them.
do you think he's faking his bluff and that he isn't in the blue? or you think he's in the blue? And
I feel like he sort of has to say that either way because that's like, yeah,
It's the
I don't know.
safest option for him
Yeah.
to prank call.
I think your idea about cleaning up yellow is a good idea. So I'd be good going up here and calling out 41.
Mhm.
Take
All right.
a look.
Do you guys want me to go here or here? I'm kind of leaning towards this one,
Okay,
only because it gives me more options to move around.
sure. And then we all have an idea what we're calling out.
Yep.
Okay,
41.
45.
50.
145, 50. I am not at any of those spots.
You're a survivor.
Clarence is. The other guys were idiots. Clarence got wise. But you did have a report that I was in 49 at one point.
Okay, interesting.
Right beside.
So
Not
he
as
was
well.
there.
Mhm.
He couldn't be in yellow anymore, so we definitely had to move here.
Could potentially have moved back to Cantaloupe, but yeah, I think that's a reasonable. So
Yeah, I don't feel like it would be smart to move back to Cantaloupe.
Tell me all your what's your next strategy?
yeah, I think
Go
he's
ahead.
over
We're gonna
here.
stake out the Chinese shop.
Go ahead. tell me your plan. Go ahead.
We're calling Schwarzenegger.
All in the big head.
Interesting. So that sort of means that he was going fast. So he was here on this, and then on this, he likely moved into one of these two spots, and then wasn't in blue the next round.
Yeah,
So-
and I feel like the best option for him would be this one because it gives him more options to move the following round.
But if he moved here, oh yeah. So yellow was not in yellow. So are we talking about 3 right when we're saying he was over here?
That's where I think he would be probably around 2.
Got it. Because he was here the previous turn, so he could have been moved to one of these two. He would have had to have moved to one of these two spots if he was going east
Yeah.
on 3. Which means that he could have collected money on 3.
Which means he could be moving back towards us at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's a jumble. Like, do we want to send 1 or 2 of us into blue and try and search a couple of these?
Mm-hmm.
And one person stays in yellow and just searches one of these 4?
I feel like if he was going towards blue, he's in blue. He's in blue. I feel like he wouldn't still be in blue for this. At least that's my thought process. Like spending 3 rounds in blues is maybe too much. I don't know. If he's trying to get the game done.
Well, we can't ask about blue or yellow.
Yeah.
Run,
So-
Clarence.
I think north south can
Yeah, I think-
help.
I think that or money.
Yeah, money. I also don't hate asking about money.
I think you get more revealed with the purple line in the money.
Yeah.
That's true.
And there's 2 of us north of the line, so if we know he's north, that
And he can't lie about it this time.
Yeah.
outer calls.
Why would I lie?
No more Moe's Tavern.
Why would I lie?
Yeah. All in favor of north?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's try it. North. You north of the line.
Am I north of the line?
Okay.
Wait,
Hmm.
nope, that's the wrong one.
yes.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, it's upside down for you. So yeah.
Yes, I am.
Interesting.
And in real life, Evan, you would have like, because you don't want people to see where your eyes are going, you'd have a little map that you'd hold up in front of your face
Oh,
with
yeah.
numbers and stuff in your direction. So
Nice.
I think I'm gonna camp out here. I think hunting down yellow might be a better option for it.
Mhm.
Do we want to stay in yellow or do we want to try and go into like this section?
Hmm.
I think he might already have the money, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how his card selection process works, so I don't know if he.
I mean, worst case
So-
scenario, if two of us stay in
We,
yellow.
we could check every single yellow space that that is north of the line by using yellow's last ability. Because if I move here, yellow moves here, yellow could bump me here, and then green could move here, and then green could double check, and we could check both of these spots. Just as a thought. Like if we wanted to nail down every possible yellow spot that he could be north of the line,
Yeah.
if that would
Hit for one.
that would rule out him getting over Cantaloupe in the
Let's
next
get
turn.
Busters on yellow. I'm good with that plan.
It would either confirm he's over here or it would also confirm he's completely stuck in one of these areas.
Could he be in Cantaloupe? So if three, he has to be in one of these two spots, which I guess he could have gotten that. And then we didn't know. Yeah, I guess he could technically be in Cantaloupe.
It would be I think it would be very hard. I think the higher chances is either somewhere in this yellow or in
Or
one
still
of
in
these
blue.
two.
I agree. It would have to be very I think like very specifically would have to have gotten like 58 on 3
Yeah.
and then moved here or here and then moved up. Yeah. So I if we check both of these spots and 58 is not revealed, then we are pretty locked in for him being in blue. I think at least that's how
Yep.
I'm seeing it.
Just before you make your decision too, Sasha, don't forget he could go to 44 or to 42 if he
That's
has
right.
if he has his disguise card.
That's right. I did forget
His
about.
disguise card is just one out of these 60 cards, so there's a
There's only one.
read this deck, right? Is it random the cards that he gets to look at
No, he gets to choose which one.
out of the entire deck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like his hand.
Yeah, he chooses every round.
Right.
All right, so do we want to lock down these two yellow spots?
Let's do it.
I think that makes sense, at least to me. And so I think we do have to use your ability yellow.
I'm
And
eating out.
then
My cop powers are exhausted.
and so that just means I guess we're naming all the things that are not the
Yeah.
disguise.
So he's
You
in here.
can ask about the covered ones as well.
Oh, we can't ask about.
If you would rather.
Uh,
You can ask about any one of those 6 spaces if you're going to try and ask about those.
I don't think he expected this plan. I don't think.
yeah, I like the I like sticking to our guns and just sticking with the
Yeah, let's go
plan.
for it. I got 40 and 41.
and 43, 45.
Bam.
40,
I didn't
41,
actually look to see where you went.
43, 45.
Maybe I did.
I am not good at escaping.
Ooh,
Got him.
there we go.
I was gonna use the disguise, and I was like, "Nah, they'll definitely try to go in here, right?
Yeah.
Don't waste the disguise."
That would have been amazing if you had used it there, though.
Yeah, that would have definitely made our life really hard.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that I'm not a good criminal.
That's good.
Cool. You guys won.
We did it.
I did.
We took down Clarence.
And we
Did it.
still have 2 FBI powers too.
What?
Yeah.
That's just bragging.
Mhm.
Come on.
So are we moving on to feedback time, or is there something else that we need to?
I think that's it, right?
That's it. That's the game. Unless anybody has any questions about the end or anything.
Not that I can think of right now.
Great. Go ahead. Got it.
Since no one's speaking up, I'll go ahead and start. First of all, I really got into this game. I definitely I really enjoy these types of games. Particularly, I think I would really enjoy being the convict. I am always a little bit wary about co-op games like this because of the sort of quarterbacking issue, which I did feel like to some degree, I just get really into it and have a hard time not like really sort of logicking it out and sort of trying to just convince people of the logic that I came up with. Regardless of if other people have good logic, I just get really sort of so I mean, with this group, I didn't feel like I was completely quarterbacking, but I did feel a little bit. So that's just something with this style of game that I can't seem to escape unless there's like information that I can't see, or like a game like Spirit Island where you just have too much going on that you can't like keep track of everything that everyone is doing.
Yeah.
But that being said, I did feel like I got really into it and immersed in it, and sort of it felt like a really fun puzzle. Even though it's fairly simple, it did feel very, yeah, I sort of lost the fact that I was trying to find flaws in the game, and I was just like lost in the puzzle and fun of the game. Not that I'm like that's how I critique things, but that's just like having a critical eye as you're playing. I feel like there was times where I sort of lost my critical eye because I was so engrossed in the game. So that's definitely a thumbs up on that point. Just a couple of little things that I wrote down. The starting spot was just like a simple visual thing. The starting spots seem way too small, and why couldn't those just be like numbers and just have those numbers be like slightly different color or something, just to mark the starting locations. Yeah, this is just a really simple, not like a big deal. Just the starting locations being that small and sort of maybe hard to notice with all the stuff that's on the board. Again, it's not a big deal, but I was just thinking like, what if these numbers were just slightly different color, or I guess they have to be black, but just is there any reason that the 31 and 32 couldn't be the starting locations?
Yeah, totally. I could just say, hey, 31, 32, or
and 59 or whatever.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just it save putting an extra little symbol on. And I get you don't want these to be big because they're only used for the startup, but if they're like numbers for the game, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I don't know if with the physical version, I would just have these tokens on the card, so you can just slide the card over with the tokens on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Just so you don't have to like move the tokens and the card, just like you just slide the card.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
This is probably just a TTS thing. These double moves should just be double-sided, just so you can flip them over, and it's exhausted. Like having to like discard this felt a little bit silly. I wish I could just exhaust it by flipping it over. Startup locations determined. Oh, I guess I was sort of curious as to how that like those startup cards. Uh, that's obviously not every. Is it every combination? It's not every combination of like
No,
money. Yeah. So how was that determined? Did you like pick one that is like a yellow and a blue, or like is
it's
there some system
pretty.
to how that's created?
Yeah, it's pretty random, and there will be a different way to pick them once you actually know the game. That's only for pure beginners.
Got it.
So it's one of those learning steps, and then once you know it, I haven't decided exactly what it'll be, but it'll probably be like I might have cards or something that say, hey, you've got to pick one. Like, I mean,
Like
maybe there's 8 or 10 cards you pick, and you're like, okay, you've got to have one from here, you've got to have one from here. And it won't be enough that anybody can deduce where you're going to be with anyone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I think it's as simple as having like two of your numbers have to be blue and two of them have to be yellow. Like it doesn't matter which ones, just two of them have to be blue, two have to be yellow would be a way to balance it so that you don't always have to go super far for each one, or you wouldn't be able to just go
Yeah.
close or whatever.
Yeah, there may
Um,
be a way to do that without actually telling the police that 2 have to be yellow and 2 have to be blue. Because if they knew that, then they would know. Oh, sorry, my cat's climbing my screen. They would know that
if the
you know
first
if
two are yellow,
then you've got 2 blues coming up, or more
that's
importantly,
true.
they would know what the passport one is, and that would
Hmm.
blow your game out of the water at the end.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just haven't
got it.
quite got
Yeah,
that
I,
yet.
I was just trying to figure out if there was a way to make that setup a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Uh, just like looking through that list of things, and then and again, you were saying that it's easier like in person. Um, it just seemed a little bit like fiddly setup. Just,
yeah.
but yeah, I didn't have an exact solution to that. After oh, I did sort of feel like after we uh, hit the robber lost a life. I think the robber should just get 2 movement after that. Like that's what happened in this game is each time we found him, he used his double movement. But I think if we know where his card is, it just like narrows down his options so much that if he doesn't use his double move, like we could just like hit him again so easily.
Yeah.
And so I sort of feel like whenever the robber is hit, the robber should just get to move twice. But maybe if I played this more, I wouldn't have that opinion. But that was what I felt like is if Evan didn't double move after we knew where he is, so we know where his last location was, then just like his number of options were so narrow that yeah, it did feel like he just had to double move after each time we found him. Um, and oh, just a little thing, the FBI ability, it did feel a little bit awkward, like the other person couldn't move after I did it. Maybe it was just how our game played out. It just felt like there was very few times where we wanted to have 2 people in the same location. Um, and the FBI's ability is going to make it so there's 2 cops in the same location.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know what should be different about that. I saw that there's 2 sides of these cards, so there's like sort of different abilities. So that's probably totally fine. It just in this game, I didn't feel like it felt like there was very few times where we didn't want to be in the same. Where very few times where we wanted to be in the same location, and so I just didn't feel like using my ability was very good. The only time was like when green was over here and we were way over here. But once we sort of nailed down roughly where we was, it was sort of like we were on the west side, we were sort of all on the west side, and then we were all on the east side. So after that first, like we know what side he's on, it didn't feel like we needed to jump someone across town or something. I don't know. Um, those were like the points that I wrote down. Again, I just wanted to reiterate that I did sort of lose myself in the game a bit, which is definitely I mean that in praise as best as the best I can, because I definitely enjoy this style of game. I enjoy the sort of deduction. I don't know if you've ever played Cryptid, but that's one of my favorite games. It's like very much deduction. This was definitely giving me feelings of that, but being cooperative, the one versus many is also really cool. So, and the asymmetrical abilities of the cops felt sweet, and like there was good times to use them, and like you don't want to use them up because they were really powerful. And I think the abilities generally were cool and felt good. I think that's my main feedback. I really like the game, and I would love to play as a convict.
Cool. And I'll just mention something about the quarterbacking. The nice thing about the one versus all versus a versus like a co-op game where you get the quarterbacking. If you do have one person in your group that feels like they're quarterbacking, because that's me too. I would quarterback this game and really try to reel myself in, which doesn't feel good because you don't feel like you're being genuine, and it's hard. That person is the person I would generally try and make the convict, so that the quarterbacking is limited. But if you have two of them,
then
there's no
it's a battle. So when you're playing with less players, do you play multiple cops, or is it?
Yeah, you would probably really like this head to head.
Yeah, a 1v1. The two quarterbacks playing 1v1 would work well. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wes, you want to go or you want me to?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, had fun playing. I'm not a big fan of co-op games. I've played, like I mentioned, the Museum Caper. I've played Spirit Island, and I enjoy co-op games. Well, actually, Hidden Movement I enjoy more than standard co-op games. So you're a step up there. But I'm always a competitive player, so it's hard to play games like these and not with knowing that we're all trying to win instead of trying to beat somebody. But that's just my years of competitive gaming. But I did enjoy seeing how the mechanics of the game worked. I think Evan having the option to look through that entire deck and make his decisions is definitely a good option for the convict instead of having a random set of 5 or 10 cards and having to draw from the deck. So when I initially saw the concept of the deck as their movement, I was a little bit worried. But if he gets to look through the whole thing, that's great. Again, from the convict perspective, being tethered to the back and forth to find the shirt and the car and the money and the passport, I think that may have made it a little bit easier for us to really section them off. And I don't know, you played the game 20 or 30 or 40 times, so you would know if that's a problem or not. In this particular game, that seemed to restrict his choices a bit. But then the game might be even harder if the choices weren't restricted for the cop. So you'd only know after multiple tests how that works out. I think the police powers worked well and were all functional. We used every one of the powers multiple times, other than the FBI didn't need to be used as much. But the canine power was great, and the yellow, I think we used that one the most because it really helped with movement. So I think the mechanics were done well on the front side. I don't know how the back sides would work, so have to see them in action. I liked the auto reveal, so no matter what, there's always cards to show the movement of the convict. That helped us kind of see what is a strategy. Like once we saw that he was really sticking to the lower half of the map, then we got an idea of where he might be. So definitely keeping that mechanic in is important. The anonymous tips, those were great. There's a lot of versatility in those, and I can't see any of them on there that we wouldn't use at some point in time. And I like the way that you have the tips restricted, that you can't ask the same question 2 times in a row or even 2 times within 4 questions. So those are good things to have. just looking at the sheet now. I think we basically used every option. No, we didn't really use shirt car or money, but we talked about using it, and it was definitely an option considered. So I see all those options being good. The map layout I liked with your diagonals and adjacencies. I think the convict could certainly strategize those edges of the map to get around the board a bit faster if they were trying to evade us. And as cops, we had no problem traversing the map, so I think it's useful for both sides. I felt a bit confused at the beginning about exactly how these cards worked, and maybe I zoned out during the rules of that part. So up top, the cards here, I think Sasha mentioned it that just how these get set up at the beginning of the game, they're kind of predetermined for an early game, but then there's more versatility later. Is that what you were saying?
Me or Sasha?
Sasha mentioned it, but
So so in the current setup, they're predetermined, and as you get more familiar with the game, they would also be predetermined, but the you would maybe get to choose them in some way based on some other cards that said, hey, you got to choose one from a yellow. Hey, you got to choose one north of the line now. Hey, you got to choose one, just to make it so you're forced to different areas instead of just always going for one, but also have enough in there that for those setups that the other people couldn't deduce your last
right.
spot based on what you had. Or the other option would be just choose yours, and maybe you choose all of your stuff in yellow, and maybe that's the mind game that you play of ooh, is he going to choose all his stuff in yellow? He seems like the kind of guy that would choose all his stuff in yellow. Let's just go cover the yellows like you guys did, right? Like you can go cover the yellows if you want to. There's only 3 cars on each side, and there's only a couple t-shirts in, like 3 t-shirts I think on this side. So you could cover the yellows if you think somebody's trying to take the easy way out, because sometimes it actually does help to go to the outer sectors, because it can confuse people. Like, why would you possibly choose something out there if they know it's your choice? But either way, these will be predetermined. You will determine those at the beginning of the game, whether you use the current setup or you just guess what you like, just choose what you want.
And is it intentional to not have anything in the orange? Like, you find that those are used as decoy spots?
Yeah, the reason for that is to do the crossing of the board. And so at least if you did end up with a yellow t-shirt and a yellow car, you at least have to move 2 spaces.
Yep.
Whereas if there was spaces all throughout the board, it'd be hard to really distinguish where you're hopping across for one. I mean, I could draw a line or something like that, but it just gives nice separation, I think, and it gives that convict having to take one more turn to get over there. So the cops can kind of go, oh, we screwed up. Okay, we can get back in position. It's okay. It's okay.
Cool.
That was the thinking behind it.
And then my last comment is just cool real world theme. I mean, focusing on something that happened in real events in the US can always be a useful selling point and helps you nail down theme and art and player interactions and stuff like that. So I like that aspect of it too.
Cool.
Right on.
Thanks, Wes.
Yep.
I really enjoyed this game. I'm usually really bad about hidden role stuff. This reminded me a lot of Mr. Jack, in that you're constantly changing the information and trying to figure out what the new information is. To piggyback off of Sasha, the starting positions, if you do keep them on these ones, I was thinking you could just replace this with like a badge icon to signify cops.
Yeah.
If you do end up adding it to one of the existing ones, you could just add a badge around it.
Yeah, I
I
like that.
do want to ask though, why do we have two cops start in this middle section and not have like one cop here, one cop in the middle, and one cop over here?
The main reason is if you put a cop over here, then you're forcing them to cover the whole map. Whereas in this case,
Okay.
you could rush this side. Like they can only get here, right? So they're only 2 spaces away. Everything's 2 spaces away except for this one. You could capture if somebody was brazen enough to come in here. You could go
Okay.
in there. So there's a bit of a mind game of like, well, if I move my dog in here, but they know I could move my dog. It's that wine in front of
Okay.
you, in front of you thing. That was my thinking. I'm not completely married to the idea that they have to be exactly where they are, but that's kind of where I've always placed them.
No, I get that. That's fine. Um, I do like the idea of the double-sided for the lights and sirens, so when you exhaust it, you can just flip it.
Yeah.
And I think that can also apply to the tokens on for the abilities. So instead of
Yeah.
having to remove them, you can just flip them right on there. So you could have as one side is the color of whatever cop you are, and then the other side could just be black or gray or whatever. For the anonymous tips, if you don't want a single token to just constantly move around players, this could very easily be a dial as well with a just
Mm.
opening that has each of the colors, and you can just flip the colors every single turn.
Or you could just
Um,
move the card.
yeah,
Okay.
that could
The
work as
big
well.
Yeah.
um, I like Wes said, I was a little confused in the beginning, but that's just because my brain takes a little while to process things. I definitely feel like this is a game that as you play it more and more, the strategies just open up every single game. I definitely like the idea of having these tokens on top of the cards, so like you could just drag that as well.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
a
like that.
great idea.
Besides that, the only other thing I could think of is like we said before, the FBI ability didn't seem as useful, at least this specific ability.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if instead of having like if blue is here and he can pull yellow to him, what if like let's say yellow is over here, blue uses his ability, he can grab either green or yellow and put him in any adjacent sector of blue. So kind of like the opposite of yellow's ability.
Yeah. Or I could just take away the idea that you can pull, but you can still move.
Which would be
Yeah.
essentially the same. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I was sort of wondering because it was worded that way, if you had it like that initially and then it was too good, or if that was like a
No, the blue player. So that yellow ability is new.
got it.
The yellow
Okay.
ability used to be you'd have 3 tokens to be able to flip the third card.
Hmm.
And it got a little confusing when you started talking about the green being
Right.
here. Now that third card's always going to flip, and if you hadn't used your stuff, you kind of feel like you wasted stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I decided that the rules overhead of like make sure you use all your stuff before you get the green card to that spot
Got it.
was probably just going to be too much of a letdown. So I just changed it. So yeah, that now that is the like you can still move after you've been bumped by the yellow guy.
Is
I
it?
don't see why this would be. I mean, it would make it more powerful, but
Yeah.
it,
It,
it'd be acceptable.
I think that'd be the main consideration. Is uh, obviously we just played this once, but
Yeah.
if the right now the cops do seem good and like powering
Mhm.
up the cop ability, yeah, I guess a little bit. I don't know if you want to do that, but have you thought about like, do these have like power level to them where like you can either power up or power down your cop crew based on if you have it on the powerful side or the less powerful side? That could be an interesting way to like sort of if there's a newer group playing the cops, they can be on their more powerful sides, or if it was like experience they're like on their powered down sides or whatever, or
Yeah,
combination.
I used to think the backside of the blue was less powerful, but I just recently changed it and
Mm,
it rocked my last game.
yeah,
So it just, I mean, it might have just gotten used to perfection, but it's called the roadblock. And essentially you can block out 3 sectors where the convict can't move to the next turn.
yeah. Seems like,
It's,
Wow.
Wow.
it's pretty powerful if you can really box them in for a turn.
Yeah, that seems awful.
But what it
Token two
was
convicts.
before what it was is you had, I think it was 5 tokens, and you could put out tokens to block out numbers as if
Specific.
the convict had visited them before. But it was rather a boring thing to do. Nobody really liked to play that power. So I was like, oh, I got to change this. Nobody likes it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the powers that we had seemed interesting and useful in
Mhm.
specific scenarios. But yeah, just to sort of reiterate, it could be nice if you had written on these like this is a powerful ability or something,
Yeah.
or this is a low power ability, so a new player could be like, oh, I'll take a more powerful ability because I need the help, or
Yeah.
I've played this a lot. We should all have the low powered abilities.
Yeah, and like I said before, I probably would be able to say this one's more powerful than this one.
Mhm.
With the blue, I always like to play this side.
Got
This
it.
is where I gravitate towards. But like I said, I got rocked with the other side last time we
Yeah, I
played,
got
and I'm like, whoa, okay, I did not see that coming.
fair enough.
Yeah, and on this one, the green one, the back side of that just lets the dog search outside of their sector. They only get one
Mm,
search still, um, but they get to search kind of an arm's length away or whatever you want to call it, an
got it.
adjacent sector, or they can search within their sector. But if they play a token, so that one I think is a little bit weaker. It can
Mhm.
be really powerful with the helicopter, and it can if you happen to hit right, but it's a little weaker, so you get one more token. Even with that, I think it's a little bit weaker. So that would
Okay.
I would say that's this side's to me is stronger. Um, but like I'm still like 60-40 maybe. So there's no clear like this one's super strong. But I
Mhm.
know what you're going for. It definitely
Mhm.
I do have different setups in the game, more to do with oh you're gonna get extra double moves or you're gonna get extra prank calls or
Mhm.
whatever if you're a new player and you're playing somebody that's seasoned.
Got it. Yeah. Cool.
I have a random thought.
Yeah.
When the convict gets their car, what if they get an extra movement for having that car now?
Yeah, that could be. Um, I didn't want to. I didn't want to tie it to the car specifically because if they had gotten their car and they had not been caught yet, now that's super powerful for them.
Okay,
So
I see what you
that
mean.
was my concern about balancing. I more wanted to be like, okay, well, if I was going to give somebody something extra, it would be when the location reveals for something.
Okay.
And I would maybe take away your double move and I would put it here like you're kind of earning it. Um,
Mhm.
so I have played with those a little bit. I think the cop might I sorry, I think the convict either needs a couple more prank calls or possibly another double move, but I'm still trying to figure out that balance.
One thing I thought might be neat is if one of their dudes gets captured, maybe it's like they are getting shot or something. Instead of them dying, they have to sacrifice 3 cards from their deck and put black dots on it or something like that. That it's a one-time save, but it sabotages their deck.
Right. Yeah, it could even be that the cops choose. Say, give me this card, and this card.
Mhm.
Ouch! Ouch!
Locking it down.
One
Yeah,
card of each color, maybe.
yeah. Now that's interesting.
And
Is that
Evan?
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think I have anything else. I really enjoyed this game. This was really fun.
Oh, thanks, Chuck.
So I think I even told you this like whenever I played this last like a year ago.
Yeah.
That setup, I hate it. I would be much happier with just like total random draws or pretty much anything else. Um, but I'm a big anti lots of weird setup guy, so that might not be fair. Maybe your system is better than just I don't know.
Well, and granted, when you saw it, you hated it even more probably because this was partially not to throw you under the bus, Evan, but this was partially your idea to get those 4 setup cards out there
Was it worse?
Because it was so much worse before.
Oh, good. I'm glad I streamlined it a little bit.
there was 5 different items that you had to get at that time, and there was a bag of each item, and you'd pull a bag, and the chit had to be opposite color to the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Oh, right, and you were drawing until you got the right thing. Yeah, I like what you've done better than what
that was.
I agree with myself, but I think it can be even better.
I do too. I think I just don't. I haven't quite got.
Yeah.
I do like. I don't know if you've played Cryptid, but
I've seen it. I don't have it, but I've seen multiple playthroughs.
When you were talking about having like I mentioned the 2 yellows, 2 blues, but if you just had a card that was like a blue north of the line and like where you brought the north south in with the colors as well to determine your 4 spots, and then you got to choose what spots. I think that would be pretty relatively clean. Then you could just have like maybe 4 cards that you just like randomly get one, and then you choose your locations based on that. Just like obviously, like you were saying, for a first time playing, you might not know what to do with that information or like what is good strategic. But I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to get someone to understand they need to choose a location. Like a yellow that is north of. Anyways.
It's probably not any more rules overhead than it already is with.
It's a little bit messy, especially on TTS. I don't know how different it would be in person, but
yeah. Yeah, that might be cool. Just like a deck of 8 cards. It's like blue south, blue north, yellow south, yellow north, and like east west or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the FBI. Yeah, I think it looked like it wasn't fun to take away the other person's move with your power, right? Because then that kind of funnels you even more towards quarterback syndrome, where the person who got moved is like, okay,
you don't get to do anything this turn.
I guess so. Sure, we could do that. I mean, that's how I would feel. So I think you should make the other person be able to move, but you already have, you have the capacity to ratchet down his power level total, right? Because you could just give him, you could just give him 2 pippies, right, instead of 3 pippies. It's a little bit more powerful. He can only do it twice. The other powers you can do 3 times. And then same thing with his like crazy, whoa. It's like, where are those fancy roadblocks? Like maybe that's a once a game kind of deal.
Right.
Sets up his roadblocks and he's like, all right, sucker, I know you're either here, here, or here. Or whatever. Or maybe if it's not, maybe if once isn't enough, that one could also be a 2. Twice per game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another way of attuning how powerful the FBI is. Power is more powerful. You can just give them less of them.
Yeah.
But definitely don't take away the other move because probably doesn't.
They still do get to search. I didn't really pay attention to see if people that were pulled. I guess
think
it
they
only
were.
happened once. But
I think they were.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that wasn't the concern. It was more that like it felt like we wanted to spread out, and then also, stealing someone's sort of turn.
Yeah, totally.
FBI doesn't twice. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Make helicopter. Oh, so like when I use my trolley, you had me put it up here so people could kind of track like when I moved twice or when I didn't move twice.
Yeah.
The helicopter could also be a small dude so that they remember where they used it.
Yeah.
So they're just like Sasha happens to have a really good memory and was like, we used it on this turn right here to check this one.
I do agree with that. That would have been nice. If I didn't remember, that would have definitely made it harder to deduce.
Right, because then if you whiff on it, you at least want to know when you used it and where you whiffed.
Yeah.
To help you in the future.
I wonder if you could save space by turning that helicopter card into a little helicopter meeple.
Yeah, it definitely, like, you could take the card and I could just add a meeple. Because cards are nothing really.
And again, like that could sit on the card just like with the other tokens when you or wherever you use it.
Yeah.
Or instead
And
of
everybody likes a helicopter meeple.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a helicopter meeple. No, me.
But if it's a cost thing, a cardboard token with a helicopter works just as well.
But the propeller has to spin. That's important.
I totally agree.
I mean, if you made a meeple and it was only usable once in the whole game, I would be kind of upset about it. So if you made it a sweet meeple, you'd have to make it more, present in the game.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying don't do that.
Or just make everything sweet meatballs, and then it's just part of it.
I'm gonna rename the game Sweet Meatballs.
Sweetmeeples.com. You could make tens of dollars. I mean, let's see. I'm sure I've given this before, but like one side of one guy that has like 3 pieces that are only usable on that one side of that one guy. Just as far as like production costs and stuff, seems a little indulgent, but you would hardly be the first or only game that has pieces that are not been used every game. So that's hardly it's not a big deal, but that's just a personal thing where find a way to make those tokens double-sided, and one of the you can also use it for this other thing if he's not on that side, or I don't know, use it somehow. Or just whatever, have extra people. So I think I had bad game, but I had fun. So I think that's important. Because I've played many games where I had a bad game and I did not have fun. And and that's not to say I should or shouldn't have had fun just because I did well or poorly. But if you have a game where someone can do poorly and still have fun, like that's a big deal. So you've done that. So that's really strong. I don't know if my like the balance of these two things, like I would love to say that it's imbalanced, but I'm not convinced that's true. I think I just really did play poorly. But I would say
it's not that you played poorly; you were just playing against superior players.
Well, that might be it. Sasha had me figured out at every turn. So I think what I'd love to see is a little bit of a chance if you do poorly at the beginning. Right? I made some bad moves early, and that basically doomed me for the rest of the game. I still enjoyed myself, right? So it's not like the end of the world, but some kind of malleable function that modifies what happens based on how well the person is doing.
Yeah.
and I could check at a certain point in the game or whatever. Like what I wrote down was, um, I liked Sasha saying, every time somebody gets busted, I get to move twice.
Hmm.
And then additionally, when you only have one guy, maybe twice.
It's like with each move.
You know,
Mhm.
and is that balanced? I have no freaking clue. Maybe that's horribly unbalanced, but that would feel better if you get down to one guy early.
Yeah.
That would at least make me feel like, all right, well, at least I can like get close to the end before I'm captured. Like I didn't even have my car revealed yet.
Mm-hmm.
I got busted like a quarter of the way into the into my escape.
Yeah.
Um, so something that comes online when I'm already doing poorly that helps me maybe have a chance. Sounds nice. And the one I came up with was once you're down to Clarence, or whatever it is.
One thing to add on to that I was just thinking of, I don't know if this would add maybe more than this game wants to add, but if each of these tokens right here that you use to cover up your sort of lives or whatever, if each of these was a special ability, and so whenever you lose a life, you gain a special ability. And so if you've lost 2 lives, you have 2 special abilities.
Oh, that's fun.
And there would always be one that you wouldn't get to use. So essentially each time you lose a life, you get to choose what upgrade you get to have, whether it's move faster or it's you get to sneak more times or whatever it is. Just like
Right.
being able to upgrade yourself when you're doing poorly, I think could feel good as the convict.
Yeah, and that has been mentioned before, Sasha. So it's definitely something that I'm thinking of as far as balancing. I should mention that I do think it's currently in favor of the cops if I had to percentage it. And that's because I had played it with the same person over and over and over again. And the convicts just kept pounding. And and since then I've like we dropped spaces, we dropped number of things on the board, we dropped like
And I think it's
really
fair that kind of like a solo game, you'd want the convict to win less often than the other players, because then
yeah
if
I
you're
think that's
playing
true.
4 people all the time, you'd want 75% of the players to feel good that they won.
yeah and I
And then
think
if the
that's
convict gets away
important.
with it, then they're really like feeling good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
but I had pushed it so far that this is how the game starts. Not now, but after like the last 15 play tests, this is out of the game at the moment. It's a catch up for the police if they are really, really, really bad. But essentially it blocks out this reveal space and this becomes the reveal space until the first capture happens. So it's really powerful for the cops. Uh, and I realized, okay, well, that's way too much. And I had some blank spaces over here, so not as many t-shirts. There was like there was 4 instead of 5. There were there was at least 3 or 4 things I've done recently to push it back in the favor of the convicts. And I think it's still in the favor of the police, but I think this might be the solution, is to just give them a little something if they fall behind.
Yeah, I like that. I also agree with Wes though. Like you don't necessarily need the goal to be 50-50.
No. No, but it's probably about 70-30 right now from play tests. Which I still find okay, because I'm like you, Evan. Every time I lose, I still have a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
it's also like that record that, if it's your own music, you get tired of it after a while. I haven't gotten tired of it yet. So both of those things give me, at least I like it and I
Yeah.
still feel good. So it's really good to hear that you're like, I lost and I had fun. And I'm
Yeah, I
like,
still had fun.
that's
I
how I
like
feel.
I saw the writing on the wall, which wasn't awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but it's not like there wasn't a chance. It's not like it was inevitable. if it was inevitable, I probably would not have had fun. But there was
It would
always a
have
chance.
it would have been interesting if you had gone to one of these disguise spots because they
Mhm.
burned a lot of stuff on that last one.
I thought that was too obvious, so I didn't do it.
We went guns blazing.
And then they wouldn't have known if you were
Yeah,
here or
yeah.
here. So
No, it
you
would
would
have
have
been
had
great. It would have been great.
12 spots that you could, well, I guess 11 spots that you could
Yeah.
have had to, or well, 10. So it would be like 3 and 10 of catching.
I mean, I think
So
ultimately, even if I had passed them, I still would not have won. Like they still would have caught me.
it
I
probably
had
would-
too far to go.
it probably they would have had 3 and 10 chance of catching you each and every time almost. So it
Right.
probably would not have ended well, but
No.
but it would have been better than this scenario. This
Yes,
scenario was
yes.
deadly.
So then my other question is, I did get caught about a third of the way into the game, right? Is this a 3-hour game?
It's really hard to answer that because some people do a lot of talking and
Mhm.
really suss everything out,
Yeah,
and some people this is a 45-minute game.
right.
But those aren't usually the better players because they're not sussing everything out. So I originally thought it was under an hour.
Mhm.
I would say for a quick player, it's an hour. If you have a team, especially if you're not figuring stuff out really well. I'm not sure how long that playthrough was, but
We played for an hour.
okay. So I would say if we had kept going and you actually could have finished and would have won, I would say at the most it would have took an hour and a half. So I would say an hour and a half would be fair to say that's a full game. That's probably
You think only another half hour?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you already had your money. They don't know that, but you already had your money and we're heading back, right?
Yeah.
So you just had to get 1, 2, 3, 4 moves maximum to get to your
Yeah.
next spot, and maybe 2 moves to screw around, and then
Right.
2 more moves. So we're
Okay.
talking maximum like 8 more moves
Mhm.
that you would, and that's with you doing a little bit of like loop-de-loop kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I think if it's no more
Always
than
a
2 hours, that's probably
taboo
fine.
item in games. If you wanted to make it feel real time and speed up the decision making, then you put in that dreaded hourglass that nobody likes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I actually do like real time, even though a lot of people do not. Like I love Galaxy Trucker. I love
I like real time. Definitely when it comes to like deduction, I don't like a timer. that definitely it's sort of become a joke because I definitely can get a little bit AP prone, and in like deduction games, one of my old roommates used to say, "Get the timer." That just like became like a catchphrase.
yeah.
So start the timer.
Yeah.
There's that
Sasha's
little
turn. Get the
difference.
timer.
Yeah. So I dislike that, but I think there's better solutions to the problems that you're trying to solve with that. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't like a timer much either, but
yeah.
if somebody
I've never actually played a game as a timer because I can't stand it.
yeah. Me, I
Galaxy
don't.
Trucker.
That's a good game. I enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah, I just thematically I wanted the car to give me more movement. Just like
Yeah.
Chuck was saying, I'm just like, well, I'm in a car now, right? Right?
Yeah.
Can't I move faster than when I'm on foot?
You got to hide out. We're police. We have police cars.
Right. So, maybe it's an issue, maybe it's not, but thematically I definitely wanted my car to do something.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe just the first time you get the car, you just get a free movement right then and there, and that's it.
If you choose to reveal that you got your car.
Yeah, does the car when the car gets revealed at the end, or when you play it face down? Because obviously, if you play it face down, you'd be saying where you were.
Right.
I would say when it's revealed, whether
Right.
that's as soon as the cop finds it or if it gets to the reveal phase, because I feel like at that point, thematically, it would be equivalent to like the three convicts. Yeah, the 3 convicts hear over the radio or like through the news, oh, the cops found a stolen car.
Right.
And they're like, oh crap, yeah, let's go.
you get a free move when it's revealed, and I could choose to reveal it early.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I'm not sure
I-
about the revealing early part,
Ah.
but I
I don't know
definitely
why.
think the
I don't know why
reveal here.
you would reveal. I
He's
feel like
Well,
revealing
maybe
early is
it was a
too
bad
bad
plan.
of a giving up free information.
Yeah, I think keeping it on the when it's revealed.
Oh, I don't mean reveal the space that I got the car. I just mean reveal that I got the car.
Mm.
Oh,
okay.
I guess
Like,
that's important
just vocally.
because
Just saying I'm going to move too because of my car or whatever.
Well, but yeah, like the thing is if the car was in here, then it wouldn't have a number on it. Is what he's saying. Your car
Yeah,
card would still be face down here,
yeah,
and so we wouldn't know what number the car
yeah,
came
exactly.
from.
You wouldn't know
Um,
which car I grabbed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm kind of skeptical about even the vocal part because
Yeah.
even then, like if you say that, then we know like if this was a white 42, you just revealed that you have the card. Now we know you're gonna have a white card for the green, so we know you're
Sure.
gonna be heading to this side of the map again.
Well, theoretically, it's at least at this point, it's always back and forth.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
would have already known it would have been a white. Like
Yeah.
as soon as this is revealed, we know that it's a white.
Ash.
Yeah, but what I mean is
Really?
we're still searching for this. We don't
Mhm.
know what this is yet.
We
So if you
don't know that you're
revealed it
going for
early-
it yet. Yeah, got it. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like the car should do something, but maybe that breaks the system, or
Mhm.
or I don't know. But overall, yeah, man, if this setup didn't like enrage me, I would table this. You know what I mean? Like I would definitely want to own this and find moments where I think people would enjoy it.
Cool.
Th-
Yeah,
there's
I think the setup can be done. I just haven't found it yet. I think the cards are maybe that way. But
If this setup, like, I'm such a fickle gamer where I'm like, it's a cool game, you guys might like it, but man, that setup. Jeez, I just don't know.
oh, I know. Even like El Dorado, where you have it's just a it's a
the
simple game,
modular.
but you gotta it's
Yeah.
modular and it's got no way to hold it together, which is
Yeah.
that gets annoying. But and then if you want to do your deck building, you have to separate into either at a takedown or setup. You have to separate into piles, and I'm like,
Uh,
I like this game enough that I do it, but I'm like,
yeah,
oh, why does it take so long to set this game up?
I know. I hate that. But man, I'm still. I liked this the first time I played it. I'm still stoked on it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a game that I haven't played yet that this made me like it's very similar conceptually, but I haven't played this one. I'm gonna find it really quick.
Is it a
I'm
new
not,
one?
it's relatively new. Do you have a?
Is it Mind MGMT?
Oh yeah, yes, mind
Yeah.
management.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't played that one yet.
I hear
mean,
good things about it.
I've heard
Yeah.
great things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of talk around it, and they did an amazing production.
mhm.
If you're into hidden movement, my Kickstarter is in the mail somewhere.
Got So, at what point, like, when did you hear that about mind management, and how far along were you with your game, or like with their?
Well, weirdly enough, I know the guys. Well, I've met the guys that
Yeah.
have made Mind Management. They're from Vancouver, which
Got
is
it.
where
Are they from
the
Vancouver?
area I live. Yeah, well,
I didn't know.
in the Vancouver area.
Yeah, in
I'm
that
not sure
area.
exactly where they live now, but they're in the Vancouver area.
Yeah.
And both really brilliant guys.
Oh, yeah.
Game guys. And actually, Jay Cormier's blog is what I really went off of when I was making my sales sheets and stuff. And so when I was at Shucks, I don't know, what was it, 3-4 years ago, the first time I went, I didn't know, maybe it was the last time I went, but I didn't know, but they actually were in Indie Ave, and I was busy kind of giving sales sheets to all the publishers and stuff, and I didn't look at their game at that point. And I'm like, and I was actually, I had my game on the table and I was pitching it. This one, it looked different, but it was on my table, and I was going around all the pitching to everybody, and I got some interest and stuff. But it's funny because I didn't know it was there, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
kind of mad I didn't play it because I'm like, I didn't see it, and I could talk to Jay and Sen, and they're such cool guys.
Yeah.
And they just everything they do just is like amazing.
Yeah, I just, when you were describing your game, that was like what came into my head. I was like, because this seems like your game feels more approachable to me, from a like a teach and like who I would sort of present this to, maybe. But honestly, I haven't like gone that much into the rules of mind management, so I don't know. But I think the theme that you have with yours, and I don't know, it feels really good. I do really like this a lot. This definitely fulfilled that desire for playing that hidden movement co-op sort of game. So yeah.
Sasha,
Yeah.
are there any questions or comments in the comments?
There was no more information after offering to PayPal me money for your information. So
Fair
it was
enough.
just Chuck White and Edward King in the chat sort of joking about stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
Um,
So that's why you always knew exactly where I was, Sasha. How much
Oh,
did
wait.
you have to pay him? That's what I want to know.
Eric Hall popped in and said, "Oh, I love hourglasses."
Now, Eric Hall is your design partner,
Yeah, Eric Hall is the person that
who I have met.
You have met.
You both look like
like
you're in a
one or two
rock band.
times.
I think I just met him the once.
Yeah, it was a IRL playtest session.
Yeah. Hi, Eric. Cool. Well, what else? Anybody else? Last minute commentary?
Not that I can think of.
Cool. Well, awesome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining up, and Trevor for stepping in last minute, because our other person had to step out last minute, and thanks Chuck, Sasha, and Wes for stepping in, even though Jack couldn't be here. It was great to hang out with everybody, and even though you knew my every move and caught me really early, I still had a good time. Trevor, I'm excited to see you in a week or two.
Yeah.
Up at Shucks, and yeah, I'm Evan Halbert. After the Empire, my only game out right now. Others are in the works, on contract, hopefully next year. And if anybody out there sees this and wants to bring their game up on the show, we need more games to play, and we'd love to have you. Chuck?
Yeah.
Another self plug.
I'm working on a strategic movement deck builder called Robot Boxing League. I'm still working on balancing a few different things, but I'm slowly plugging away at it. Hopefully in the next year or so, I'll be able to start working on art. But I'm looking forward to having people play some of the new updates since the last time I was on Playtest This with it.
Yeah, man. Bring it back. Gotcha.
I'm working on several different games. The one that I'm working on the hardest at the moment is Dovecot game, which is we played last week on Playtest This. I'm working on it with my design partner Eric Hall, and it's coming along well. I'm looking forward to sort of the sort of next steps with the game. It's feeling pretty good, and yeah, I'm sure I'll bring it back to playtest this at some point, and look forward to getting more eyes and plays
Yeah, man.
on it.
And I'll maybe see it in real life at some point too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wes.
Yeah, last game I made and kickstarted was called Roll or Die. It's a print and play polyhedral roll and write game. So if you have any interest in that, it's on my Fundamental Game Shopify site now. Had some fun making that as a kind of a side project. And then looking forward to bringing Forge back to the digital table with this group here.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully in October, and actually building prototypes right now of that very game. Hopefully getting a copy at Essen for a live demo.
Are you going to Essen?
I'm not going to Essen, but one
Oh,
of my
okay.
design and gaming partners is.
I was like, oh
And,
man, I want to go.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I get that produced, and I'm obviously having some games shipped to the US as well.
Yeah. I'm hoping to have a good excuse to go to Essen next. I've got a contract with Spielberg's, so we'll see if that's like ready to do a thing next year. And then I've got a contract with a French guy who goes to Essen, so I'm like, hopefully those will both be like a thing happening to give me a good excuse to fly to Germany next year. Man, I'd love to go. I've still never been. Has anybody been?
No.
No. Yeah.
Someday.
I know, right? I'd love to
COVID
go.
ruined all chances of me getting out.
Yeah, right. At least until very recently. Trevor, tell us, give us your self plug.
Yeah. So you can, if you want to hit up the Facebook group, you can look on. It's just listed as Alcatraz Escape the City. ZUNGAgames.com is the website where you can link to anything, including signing up for email for any interesting things. There's a couple other games on there that I'm working on. A few other games on there that I'm working on. And we just passed 100 members in the Facebook group, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm a woo girl. Hey Wes, where are you at in Canada?
Well, where am I at again? I'm on Facebook, West Woodbury.
No. Where are you at in Canada?
Oh, where am I in Canada? I'm in Alberta, near Calgary.
Okay, yeah. Trevor, you're in BC.
I'm in BC. Yeah.
Okay. Like I gotta remember where all my Canadian friends are.
Yeah, Jason's in Alberta too.
Jason's in Alberta. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jay and Sen are in BC. I didn't know, or near.
Yeah.
Near BC.
Well, they were a couple years ago. I mean, they may have moved. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome, everybody. I really appreciate y'all joining up and playing, and it's been a blast hanging out with you again.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having
sharing.
us.
Thanks for sharing your game.
And